Hey everyone, I'm Isaac Maring and I run and own a lawn maintenance company at 20 years old. And today I wanted to talk about something about growth. And this is more personal growth, but it also can be seen as business growth. And that is every 6 months, you should probably hate the previous version of yourself. And to look at this more in depth is if you looked back 6 months ago from today, you should absolutely not enjoy that person or that version of you. You should see a lot of flaws. You should see a lot of stupidity. You should see a lot of missteps, mistakes. You should really like cringe about it. You should feel like so weirded out that that was you 6 months ago. And this is a really good thing if you do feel that way. So if you thought about yourself, just take a moment and think about 6 months ago. Uh, was there differences? Was there a lot of differences where you would probably not make those decisions today? There's a lot of things that you're like, why would I even do that? Why did I even do those things? Or why didn't I think of things differently? Or why did I make those decisions? And sometimes it can make you feel like a little a little down on yourself, but what you should really feel is really good about yourself because it means you now can see those flaws, which means you have grown, which means you within that time have changed. And of course, there's always things that just take time to know if a decision played out correctly, or know if you just made a mistake and now you have to correct it. But there was always stuff that just it didn't make sense about you personally, and then also within the business. It's like, why did you do certain things within the business? Why did you have it set up a certain way? Why was it at that point you thought everything was great, everything was perfect, but then you look back 6 months ago now and you're like, man, I, it's way different now. It's way better than what it was, and that's a really good thing. And I've learned over the years, and I've seen myself progress, where every 6 months I know when it's coming. I know when like my next season, my next chapter is coming, where I'm just like I'm growing away from my past self, and I'm just like I just feel this almost tension, or I can feel something that is going to be changing, and it tends to be every 6 months, and it's not that I always just plan for it. It's not sometimes I always just I don't set the date and say this is the day. Things just automatically change. It's a natural progression if you're focusing on yourself every day and learning from your past mistakes, and just it's a simple it's a simple term of growing, and growth means change. So within that 6 months you should have changed, otherwise you didn't grow. And especially if you want to. If you don't want to grow at all, this is probably not the channel for you, and this is probably not the video for you. But if you are wanting to grow and grow at a faster rate, it is always good to at least look back and say, man, I hate that old me. But it's not like that old me didn't help create who you are now. It's not like that old you, didn't have everything together. That old you was still smart enough and set up enough to where you might have been on a certain path that you're still on. Or sometimes you can look back 6 months and you had a big event happen where, 6 months ago you were doing something that wasn't even close to the path you are on today. And those times can be huge moments. And not all the time you're going to have that. You're going to probably have more of a feeling of small moments of character or development, or how you see things, how you see the world, how you plan to move forward. It's going to be the little stuff that you're going to cringe about. It's going to be how you carry yourself, how you act towards others, how you treat people. It's always going to be those little tweaks that you're going to understand, that are way different than they were 6 months ago. And I think a lot of people don't realize this always as a good thing. Sometimes we always try to hold on to our old selves. And if you aren't, let's say if you aren't actually feeling this way, this is the problem. And I want to talk about that and how we can change that. So when you look at your old self and you're like, man, I'm like the same person. Well, there's probably is a little bit of differences, but if you aren't really as changed and as grown as you wanted to be, maybe it's because you didn't say yes to the challenges, yes to, taking that next step, yes to taking that opportunity that might have seemed too hard, too far-fetched, saying no to the things that keep you back, saying no to the old self. Did you a lot of times just keep on to your old self, or did you say no to the same activities that you did as your younger old self that didn't bring you anywhere? So it's a mix of, as you have to look at your day to day and your month to month, is asking yourself, what did I say yes to and what did I say no to? And what are the things I should be saying yes to and what are the things I should be saying no to? Because especially if you want to make a big change and you're saying yes to a lot of things that aren't helping you at all, aren't pushing you to where you need to go, aren't growing your own personal self, you need to start flipping those and putting those in the no category and start saying yes to building yourself. Start saying yes to, just taking on that opportunity that you really just didn't think you could do, you were scared of, you didn't want to make that leap, you didn't want to just go and do it. And a lot of times this is where stress can come from too, is when you just don't make that decision, because a lot of times stress is inaction. It's inaction of a decision that you know you should be doing. It's something that you should be doing and you're not doing. And that's where you just keep building stress and more stress, is when you might be doing a lot of things, but you're not doing the thing you should be, or you're not making the decision you should be. You're not telling the person the thing that you need to. You're not taking care of yourself the way you need to. You're not going to the gym like you said you needed to. And all these things just keep adding up and it's stressing you because you're just not doing them. And those are the things that can really just push you to grow and change yourself. And I think when we, look about, ourselves trying to move on to the 6-month newer version, so it's like you're looking forward and you're looking back. So when you're looking at who you want to be in 6 months, you're always trying to dial in certain things. You're trying to change. You're going to set targets. You're going to set goals. And then you also got to realize who you are now was created from what you did 6 months ago. Who you are now is whatever actions you took 6 months ago, is whatever activities you were doing 6 months ago. All of those built up to who you are right now. And that can be the same thing as who you want to be in 6 months. You just have to make the right actions and activities. And you also have to know that who you are right now is not the smartest. Who you are right now is not the best. Who you are right now is not who you could be. And it's always good to have this gratitude and humbleness of knowing that there is more, and knowing that you aren't the best, knowing that there is always more that you could be, knowing that you don't know everything. Because when you're in the moment, in the present, you should know it's just going to be hard, and it's going to be, it's going to make you feel stupid in 6 months. It's whatever you're doing today, you're going to think you're doing the best at, you think you're the smartest, but in 6 months, you're going to feel stupid about it anyways, because you have grown. And it's not always that you want to look in the past, but understanding who you were 6 months ago and just trying to defeat that man, just trying to get him away from your life, man or woman, really. It's like you look at your past self and you're just like, I just want him completely cut out. I want him and her completely cut out. I don't want that image of me anymore, because that's just not me. So you want it just gone. And this is a good thing. It can sometimes hurt. It can sometimes make you confused about, like, dang, like, I can't believe I was that person. Like, what made me do that? But you gotta understand that who you were then is not who you are now, and everything always progresses. Everything is always going to be that way, and then and that's where you come to today. You're like, dang, if I was like that 6 months ago, I wonder what I'm doing today that I could do better? I wonder what I'm doing today that I might not like in 6 months. And this is where you can start to think a little bit ahead of yourself to start bringing the future to today. Where you start, being one step ahead of yourself, where you start taking the actions of understanding, hey, like, I'm not doing as much as I should be, or I'm not saying yes to the things I should be, because in 6 months I know I'm gonna feel stupid about making this decision. I'm gonna feel stupid about saying no to this opportunity. I'm gonna be stupid about I'm gonna feel stupid about saying yes to continuing on in this bad habit, in this destructive pattern. So it's always good to just kind of look at where you are and where you want to go, and understand you might end up just hating yourself, of your past self anyways. And you always got to also love that person for who they were at that time, because they also were able to create who you are now. So yeah, make sure you, every 6 months, kind of, for me right now, I kind of sense it. It's like a season. It's like, dang, this is just going to be different. This is going to be harder. This is going to be a different set of days. My schedule is changing. The people around me are changing. The people, I talk to every day changes. The way we run things in this company changes. We're not doing the same things we were 6 months ago, because everything's grown. And it's what helps you keep up and stay ahead. And yeah, I just wanted to bring that to you guys' attention today, because it's something that I've always noticed, even with myself. It's like, dang, like, it's always a good reminder to understand if you didn't grow enough. The best way to track it is if you looked back at yourself and you don't think you're better than that version of yourself, make the next 6 months a big change. Make the next 6 months so you can look back and see that you did something, that you changed, that you made yourself better, that you look back now and you're like, wow, that guy sucked, dude. All right, let's. It almost becomes a challenge then. It almost becomes of something that you're like, man, I did that much. I didn't like myself then, even though I felt like I was doing really good and I was making a lot of good decisions. But man, I'm even better now. I'm making even better decisions now. I'm progressing even more now. I wonder what I can do in the next 6 months. And that's the way I look at life now. It's just like, dang, if I could do it then, what can I now do? What can I now do? How much better can I get? Who can I surround myself with? Who can I help now? How many things can I do for myself now? And it's, how many things can I do for other people now versus, how many things I did for people then? So it's just a good thing to think about when you're in business, an entrepreneur, and even your personal life. If you work out, if you like to stick to a diet and you just see yourself change over the time, you want to set target and just accomplish it, and you want to change yourself, present yourself better. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next one.